Well, at least your boy has arrived. Say that shit.
Cero, miedo, bruh. Cero, miedo, bruh. What you doing, bruh? How'd you feel, bruh?
How did you feel? You're the one who was more hyped up for it.
Probably
You were very excited.
annoyed with all the social media shit with the WWE shop did. It's like, bruh. And then announcing him at the fucking live shows, like, bro, okay, whatever. I know it was already fucking like how Michael Cole's ass said the fucking worst kept secret in fucking wrestling and shit.
Yeah.
And nah, bruh.
You wanted them to try and make it more of a surprise.
Definitely.
Well, I mean, it just wasn't gonna happen. It wasn't a surprise. Like, we already knew. You know what I mean? Like, it was reported. It was very obvious. We all knew once they started doing the teasers and everything too. Like, it was obvious from the very first teaser that they put out. You know? So, I mean, I guess if you wanted to say, like, they should have never put out any of those teasers or anything.
Not any of the teasers, but...
Because that's my thing is, like, you really think that a WWE audience in San Jose would have popped that hard for Penta had they not known that he was coming?
That's true.
Because honestly, I was only
There was
really
a lot
put
of
on to
Penta
who
fans
he was
recently.
and these last few weeks of, like, the hype building up and stuff. Like, I had heard his name. I had heard of the Lucha Brothers because they were pretty popular in AEW and stuff like that. But I had never watched any of their matches. I had just heard their names, and I knew that people that like wrestling are very fond of them. And I was like, okay, they're probably really good wrestlers. But honestly, I had never looked into it until finally we start to get those teasers on Raw and stuff with those little clips. I'm like, oh, this guy's actually coming. Let me look up some of his clips and stuff. And that's when I became a bit more familiar with his game. And I think I'm not alone in that. And so I think a lot of us fans who only have so much time but very much enjoy the WWE product at the moment, like, I've never watched a Lucha Underground show. I've seen some clips, I've seen a couple matches, but I've never watched, like, any of their shit consistently like that. So I don't think that you can bring out certain guys that are a bit more niche like that. Like, you might have been familiar with what he had been doing, but I don't think the audience at large did. And so I feel like you got to kind of let go of that surprise element. That can only happen when it's guys that are, like, legitimately huge. Like, Cody was the biggest name in the other promotion at the time, in AEW. Like,
Yeah.
he was able to come over and be, like, a surprise reveal because it was huge. Like, if you were bringing over fucking Will Ospreay or, like, you know, one of their big top MJF, one of their big top guys in AEW, you could do it as a surprise. Besides that, I think you have to tease it a bit just to get the fan base a bit more in tune with who they are and what's going on. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, but... It would be the same thing with, like... I'm sorry, but not like everybody knows who MJF is. You would have to watch AEW. And I feel there's a lot of people
I'm not gonna
who
lie.
only watch WWE, and that's a lot of the fan base for WWE.
MJF is so massive though because of his clips and, like, the stuff.
But that's the wrestling
his
community.
no,
like,
but this is what I'm saying
that's
though.
the same shit you're
There's
talking
certain
about. That's
guys
the
where you
wrestling
get
community,
so
bro.
big within the wrestling community that you're just known about by wrestling fans, period. Penta, nowhere near that level.
Bro, I'm
Not
sorry,
even
but
close.
Still,
Not even close.
It's shocking to know, but it's still a lot of people that just still watch WWE. They don't.
No,
fucking
I know
even
that, but they
touch-
still know who MJF is, regardless.
How
They
the
still
fuck are
know
they
who
gonna know
Will Ospreay is, regardless. They still know who, like, the top
Nah,
guys
bro, there's
in
people
AEW
who are
are.
literally just WWE. That's wrestling
Least,
to them.
yes, but they know who the other people are. You hear the names, the clips come up on social media and stuff. They're not stupid, bro. I'm sorry, but you're tripping. That's why, you know how I know you're wrong? I'll explain it to you very slowly for you to understand. Cody Rhodes debuts WrestleMania, right? Very, like, kept under. No one knew about that shit. It was a big surprise. No promo teasers or anything like that. But when he comes out at Wrestle fucking Mania, it's a massive pop and a massive moment and everything like that. Because, bro, it's Cody fucking Rhodes. He was a top guy in All Elite Wrestling. Top guy on the indie scene, to where anyone who knew anything about wrestling knew who Cody Rhodes was. It's just simple as that. Yes, I only watch WWE, but I still know about that fool because he's that big. He's that significant to wrestling. So I'm sorry, bro, but no, Penta was never on that level. Not even close. And so you needed to educate the public to who this fool is, figure out who he is a little bit. Only the top stars, like a MJF, are able to be presented in that surprise manner. So I'm saying that to say you had to let go of the surprise thing. It was never possible for Penta. It was never possible. Because no one would have known who the fuck was coming out. Be like, what's happening right now? That's just the reality of the situation, bro.
So you're saying just luchador culture is like just not relevant at all or some shit, bro? And that's what
if your name's not Rey Mysterio.
That's fucking crazy, bro. That's a crazy fucking take. He's basically like the number 2.
Sorry.
That's fucking crazy as hell. How can you say that's literally one of the biggest parts of wrestling?
It 100% is, but it's also a very niche part of wrestling, and only a certain type of wrestling fan actually watches these Lucha Underground matches and keeps up with these types of promotions in Mexico, and only a very small audience keeps up with the AEW stuff on a consistent basis and is actually diehard investing into all of that stuff on a consistent basis. I'm sorry, but he is just nowhere near that level of a star that you think he is. He has his core strong fan base, but he's nowhere near as well known as you think he is. That's just the reality of the situation. Bro does not have any, like, top level, memorable, like, feuds and shit that happened that was able to make him a star. Like, that's what you have to do shit to become a star. You have to have big matches, big feuds against other top level guys, and he just hasn't done that, bro. He's had some great matches from the stuff I've seen and everything like that, but again, like, within a niche community, it's only a certain type of wrestling fan that's gonna look into that shit. That's just the reality of it, bro. I'm not trying to fucking disrespect lucha culture, but it's like only a certain amount of fans are gonna look into the shit that's happening in New Japan. Like, there's certain types of wrestling nerds that get like super into these like smaller subcultures and shit. But like I said, you asked me, so lucha culture is irrelevant? Like, if you're not Rey Mysterio to like a more casual audience, yeah, kind of.
So you're gonna say if you're not Shinsuke Nakamura's strong style is irrelevant?
Kind of, yeah, to the more casual audience, yes, bro. Like, you gotta understand, it's literally what you were just saying. Like, these WWE fans only know the small 0.1% of the very top.
How did Shinsuke come into WWE then and succeeded if there is no such thing as strong style before that?
Because the people who actually are like truly invested in wrestling and watch it and know about it are the ones working at the company and make the signings. It's not your casual fan that's the one in charge of the roster, or else it would just be a shitty roster. I just feel like you're not understanding where I'm coming from. It's not to be disrespectful. It's just to be realistic about how people fucking perceive this shit. Like, bro, I'm sorry, but I think a vast majority of the audience either kind of knew who he was or had no idea who he was. A very small percentage of the audience would have been like actual knowledgeable Penta fans before those teasers started dropping. That's just, I think, the reality of the situation. Like, AEW is not very successful at the moment. And it's because...
Why do you think all their wrestlers are basically coming over?
That's what I'm saying, though. It's because they only had guys like Penta, who are, like, wrestler fan, nerdy fan favorites. Like, you gotta be a real diehard to know about a lot of these guys and be invested in there. And that, like, I appreciate that shit. I am also a nerd of all of this wrestling shit. My point is that you can't just throw that at the fan base at large and expect them to instantly... Like, MJF is going to be in Happy Gilmore. There's a difference, bro. Like, that's the difference. That's the difference. You know what I mean? Mainstream popularity is the difference between the guys you can do a surprise and the guys you can't.
Okay, so where would you put Darby Allin then? That would be a perfect question. Because I still question Will Ospreay. I'll say fair, but I disagree with that. But let me just say Darby Allin. Where would you put him at? Would you put him with Ospreay and MJF?
He's like right on the border, to be honest with you. I'd say no. I'd say he's more in the Penta category than the like MJF Cody category, but it's like he's right on the fence. But I'd say just more in the, you gotta be a bit more of a wrestling nerd to know about him, just a bit.
Interesting.
I'm being honest. I think the Punk feud, that's what elevated a guy like MJF to get to that level. Obviously, Cody was the whole All In was kind of centered around him and a handful of other guys there. Like, I think Kenny Omega would be another guy that you could bring in with no promo, just surprise. Oh my God, it's Kenny Omega, and people would flip their fucking shit. I think there's a certain amount of guys in All Elite that would be on that level that you could have that full surprise entrance and people would still pop and instantly know that this is a big deal. Not many, though. Not many. To be honest with you, not many. Not Penta. This fool took that shit to heart, bruh. You're not even Mexican, chill.
No, I didn't take. It's.
Not even Mexican, fuck, chill.
I'm still fan of the Luchador, bro. That's like the only like Hispanic representation on that.
I know. I'm just fucking with you. So, I mean, we didn't talk about the match.
I know.
Just went on a whole other rant. This fool got all in his feels.
Fuck you, bro.
This fool got mad that Penta's not a big boy. Not a big star.
He's a big fucking dog, bro.
This fool, I promise you this. Like, this fool saying he wants to get that world title push. Not gonna happen.
He's gonna do that to the fucking. He's gonna do that to Braun Breaker to win the title, bro.
This fool's for sure IC title, but not world. Let's walk before we run. Because in WWE, you do have to be able to cut a promo.
That was the main event Mania.
You
bro.
do have to be able to cut a promo.
That was the.
Like, we'll see. It was decent today, but we'll see. We'll see.
I told you his English wasn't that good.
I got a couple notes from the match. I thought that obviously like a lot of the in-ring action was really fucking top level. Like, I could see where a lot of the hype comes from. The dude's moveset is genuinely fucking ridiculous. But one thing that pisses me off when I see it in wrestling in general, and I feel like I see it more in AEW.
Can I guess it? Is it overselling?
Not overselling, no. It's the 2 count. Where he hits him with the fucking... I mean, I assumed it was a Canadian destroyer.
Yeah.
Pat called it a Mexican destroyer, so I don't know which is
more
which.
Like, more flippy.
But fucking... Anyways, he hits a move that, in my opinion...
Shit
like,
puts motherfuckers out and
that
shit.
When you compare the way that the pile driver that KO was hitting on Randy and Cody was treated, like... They have to go to fucking medical.
Necks,
they gotta be
stupid
fucking
shit,
held out for weeks and shit. Like, Randy still hasn't come back. And obviously, I know he had his prior neck issues, if that's how you're gonna justify it. But still, it's a similar move to what put 2 legends on the shelf for a little bit. And Gable gives it a 2 count. It's crazy to me. Now...
He did not want to sell the Mexican destroyer, bruh.
I'm, like, kind of willing to let it go for this match in particular. Because it did have, like, a big match feel to it because it was his debut. It had that, like, big match energy. And I feel like in those types of moments is when you should pull out the big 2 counts. And so if that's what this is, then cool. But if this ends up being a thing consistently where he's putting this move onto dudes, and let's be real, like, with all due respect, Chad Gable's not even anywhere near the main event. And you're putting this move on dude, and he's giving it a 2 count. Like, I don't know. It just feels like it's a little bullshit. I would appreciate if a move like that looks so absolutely unreal was just protected a bit more. Because I feel like it deserves to be. And if you're not going to use it for the 3 count,
Definitely
then
bonked
just
his
don't
head, like,
use
with
it.
his body straight, bro.
That's what I'm saying. Like, to me, if I can be real, that was harder than his finish. I understand that the Destroyer is a little bit more of a generic move, and the Penta driver, whatever they called it, is a bit more unique and stuff, but just what looks more devastating, like if I was just showing a non-wrestling fan, like look at these clips from this wrestling match, you might like it. I think that would be the clip. The Destroyer would be the clip where people would be like, what the fuck? That was insane. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's something that should be a bit more protected, and it bugs me when I see it in All Elite and other places, and so if I'm gonna call it out from other people, I feel like I need to be fair and call it out here as well. That did bug me a bit. Like I said, willing to kind of overlook it for this match in particular, but I'm curious to see if that ends up becoming like a trend with his matches. But
that's an interesting thing to be bugged about, but I feel it though.
I was like, what the fuck? Really? Like, it just stuck out to me as like, he should be dead right now. Like, with how they've sold this with Randy and Cody and everything, like, he should be dead.
Bro, you say you should not be moving right now.
I kind of felt that way, yeah. But, I mean, hey, it was an entertaining match. It was a super entertaining match. Like, Chad Gable's phenomenal. Penta's phenomenal.
How would you rank the debut, honestly, your honest opinion?
It was a really strong debut. Like I said, the match was really, really good from an in-ring perspective. Debut. Out of 10, I mean, I'd give it like a good 7 or 8. Like, it wasn't fucking nothing revolutionary. It didn't blow my socks off. But it was fucking a very strong in-ring debut.
From a debut, yeah.
I mean...
You got the This Is Awesome chance.
Chris Jericho.
What?
Chris Jericho, Y2J Countdown.
Fuck that fool.
That's my favorite debut, I think, ever in WWE. Just, you asked, what do you want to debut? That fool standing on the stage. That's what I want. Because that, to me, is like, oh my God, a star is born. A god has arrived amongst us men.
I fucking did.
Like,
you talking about his original?
Yeah. Yeah, his original debut. Like, to me, that is... You just asked, what do you want to... What's a 10 out of 10 debut? That. He didn't even have to get in the fucking ring. He just had to walk out and say, Raw is Jericho. That's it. That's all he had to do. So, to me, I guess the star presentation could have been a bit more... I think honestly, you got handicapped when you're put up against a mid-carder. Again, like, Chad is a fucking elite in-ring worker, but it's just he's been held down to the bottom of the mid-card realistically. Like, he didn't even get the proper Intercontinental title chance that he deserved. And so it did kind of suck that he instantly got stuffed against, like, just a complete filler bot. Like, shit was kind of pointless. If he would have been brought into an actual proper main event match, and not even saying it needed to be the main event, but just against a main eventer, I think that could have added some aura points. And just the overall presentation was kind of like standard. Like, his entrance was cool, but could have done a bit more.
Absolutely.
And I mean, maybe that fool should hit his time instead of running over. I don't know if did you see what I sent you?
Yeah, but what happened to the Raw shows being 3 hours? That shit was 2.5.
Well, I think that they've said that the shows can be fluid as far as how long they want them to be, but I feel like once you plan out a show and how long it's supposed to be, that's it. Like, it's not like they're just gonna start adding on a bunch of time at the end, because I feel like that sets a bad precedent. Like, you don't want the talent to think that they can just run over and do whatever they want. Like, if you tell them it's 2.5 hours tonight, it's got to be 2.5 hours tonight.
You're saying they should... Superstars moving on should carry still, like, that cable television mentality. Is like, you have your spotlight, yes, and that's your time. And, like, yes, you do it, but once it's done, it's done.
I'm a firm believer in that. Because I've been in that environment to a much smaller extent, but I understand the idea behind, like, having to get something done, having to accomplish some sort of story in a certain amount of time forces you to work more creatively and be more direct. If we just give everyone the luxury of as much time as they want, the stories would suck.
WWE show,
because everyone's shit would have like a Roman level entrance and fucking it would just take too long. It'd be too
everybody would come out, start talking their shit.
Yeah, man. Like it's just you can't give that much creative freedom.
We have a lot more Rock moments.
Exactly. You don't want people coming out and literally saying, "Oh fuck, I don't know what the fuck to say." Haha. Like you don't want that. You know what I mean? Like you want that pressure of knowing you have a certain amount of time to get your shit off. The pressure creates greatness, and so I think that overall, yeah, we got to keep that same mentality. It's just funny to me that fool came in on his very first night with the company and's already pissing off his coworkers. Like, I don't know if that's a great start, but
that would definitely be an awkward handshake in the fucking gorilla room. Be like, nice, yeah.
I guess we'll see. Like, that would suck if he's already gonna start to get
next
married.
Week and shit. The locker room leader, Ray, bro.
The locker room leader, Ray. Oh,
like,
fuck.
You can't be doing that, bro. Come on.
Jesus Christ.
You're gonna take him to fucking court.
See, it'll be interesting to see where his character goes from here because obviously it's like almost impossible to debut someone as a heel. And so I get that, yeah, like for now you just had to have him beat up Chad Gable because that's what you had to do.
At some point, that was gonna have to turn to.
But yeah, like from everything I've heard, at least from everything I'm seeing, like he's so much better as a heel, and so I definitely am curious to see how they navigate.
He's fucking crazy, bro.
Yeah, no, just the aesthetic and everything. Yeah, I don't see that being like a kid's favorite. Yeah, but we'll see, bro. I'm excited.
Right now, he just look cool because everybody likes him and shit. But
yeah, okay. Well, I mean, shit, bro. I'm excited to see where he goes from here.
See me, bro.